This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the CEO of Electric Royalties, Mr. Brendan Yurik. Brendan, how are you today? Thanks for coming on.
Hey, Gerardo. It's a pleasure to be back.
Interesting times, interesting markets, right? As I speak, the Dow is down some 1,300 points. The Nasdaq's down 4%. I could go on, but look, I'm looking around the junior resource space, and I gotta say, Brendan, you're in the right sector, right? You recently had an update on the portfolio, and you just announced a $3 million financing. And I've known you for a little bit now. I've gotten to know you. And if you're raising capital, I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that you're probably looking to bring in some accretive royalties and or streams. But I'll let you opine on that, and I'll let you provide the update there. Clearly, you're in the right sector with a mega trend behind you.
Yeah, well, that's the crazy thing, right? I mean, our portfolio is right now heavy lithium. Lithium prices are up 400% last year, but really metal prices across the board. Tin was up 100%, cobalt 75%. Yeah, definitely interesting times. I think these markets, especially among junior companies, it's not as efficient a market as we think it is. There's definitely some big gaps in terms of valuations on companies and relative to the assets they have. Right now, it's just crazy. Where we're valued right now is absolutely nuts. It wouldn't have been my preference to do our equity financing at these prices, but we've got deals that we want to go get done. And, we felt like those are more important to go get. So, yeah, we're going to do, complete this financing here I think the timeline is really over the next week is the kind of deadline on that. And then, back to, acquiring royalties. We don't seem to be getting the right recognition in the market yet, but that's going to come, regardless. We're great inflation hedge, in this type of market. Our royalties are tied to metals that you can't print more of. They're very rare. And as a royalty company, we're protected against operating cost inflation because we have no operating costs. So our costs do not go up as miners would. And we are not on the hook for costs for capital development, putting the mine in production. And so our cost inflation on capital costs is also protected. So, yeah, we couldn't be in a better place right now.
I absolutely agree that when you have inflationary pressures and or stagflation, the royalty companies definitely tend to outperform, especially when the underlying metals or commodities are also outperforming. The update that you had here a few weeks back, you really focused on updating the market on multiple lithium royalties, graphite royalties, obviously the right metals, the right battery type metals that are in the midst of what I think it's still kind of, early days of what I think is going to be a decade or multi-decade mega trend, right? This electrification of everything, this pivot from governments all around the world to want to pivot towards clean energy. You're hitting the sweet spot right now. You talked about the valuation. Walk me through catalyst here for the remainder of the year, and then where your market cap is right now for someone that is looking for that inflation hedge, that is looking for exposure to these metals that are going to continue to be in high demand and short supply.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, in any given day, I think right now we're trading around 25 million, which is, pretty ridiculous, to be honest with you. I mean, I like our portfolio better than some companies trading, 100 million plus. So we're definitely undervalued. We are the only group out there really focused on the clean energy metal space. And it is exciting. I mean, this was a space that didn't exist, really 5 years ago. And we're talking about that space basically supplying the world's energy needs, kind of 2 decades out. And so in between that period of time, there's going to be a huge growth in this sector. And you're talking about, the oil and gas sector, right? About 4 or 5 times as big as the mining sector. It's going to, still be around 20 years from now, but that's what we're cannibalizing. And that's, you take that on the other side, you got clean energy metals, didn't exist, becoming a market basically 4 to 5 times the size of the mining market. So, yeah, I mean, it's exciting. We do think there's 2 decades runway. I don't think that's very often in life. You see 2 decades runway like this, but we're excited about it. Valuation is, like people always say, oh, you're a public company. Valuation is what it is. I know that the smart private equity groups out there that are trying to put together their own portfolios, they value us quite differently. But that should work itself out over time. We just keep growing, keep adding good royalties, and the market will get it. That last asset update. Look, we had $40 million raised just on 2 assets, Seymour Lake and Kansas, in November of 2021 alone. There is a lot of money going into our portfolio this year. We're probably going to have to make asset updates a monthly thing. Otherwise we tend to have 7 or 8 updates, every 2 months. So, that's going to continue on and continue being done by third parties at no cost to us. So, that's really that accretive build in the value of these royalties as we move forward. We have catalysts coming across the board. We're expecting some economics to come out on some of those lithium assets. We're expecting economics to come out on our manganese asset this year. That's a big, big asset. The only manganese district in North America being developed in the EV space. So, there's really a lot of catalysts. We'd have to do a much longer catch up to run through them, all that we expect this year. But it's going to be a busy year, that's for sure.
A lot to like. Brendan, it's good to catch up. Let's do it again soon.
Definitely.
Thanks for coming on again. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Always a pleasure.
Hey everybody, Gerardo Del Real here. If you're enjoying the content that you just saw, you can let us know in 3 simple steps. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and please share across your network and on social media. Take care, everybody.